Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to YouTube, both myself and Meg. Pull session going on today, so mainly we'll focus on what Meg's doing for her pull session specifically today. As with Meg, she already has a much better base of back development than I have. Her lats are much more developed, and so is her upper back to a degree, but she still needs a bit more depth and size overall. So with Meg, she doesn't need quite as much specificity as I do. So what you'll guys notice is our workouts, yes, we're in the gym together, but not always we train the same exercise, same movements, because we have different needs. So this brings us to a bit of a point, guys, is if you do find yourself training with your partner and you both value your goals, one thing you may have to consider is you may have different needs. Meg is a competitor, Meg is a figure competitor. I am a men's open bodybuilder. We both have different needs when it comes to what body parts we need to improve on and our development and category as well. So you have to take that in consideration when you do commit to a training setup. Now, you can make it work and you can do some movements together, but I believe if you guys are a team, you need to look out for one another and you need to have your best interests at heart for your own development as well. So I care about her progress just as much as I care about mine. So it would be selfish of me to just have her follow what I do. And vice versa, guys, you know, it has to be a good balance of both. So for me, today's session is a bit of a mixed bag. We've got a lot of lat work and some upper back work to finish off on. For Meg, it's basically going between lat and upper back work and staggering it that way, and then she finished off with her downs and some glute work with me. So it's pretty much back and glutes. For both of us, that's how our sessions look. So looking forward to showing you today what is on the cards and showing you some progression as well. So game time.
Prior to the gym, I always try to make sure that I keep my pre-gym routine the same. Get my food in, get my pre-workout in, come to the gym, have a chat, get my logbook out, get my headphones on, get my equipment, get everything ready to go so that once I'm in the gym, I know that it's time to work. It's kind of a mental cue to make sure that everything's switched on, ready to rock and roll once I actually get into the gym. Give it a go and see how you get on. I have terrible abs, and I was definitely one in the past that used to think, oh, if I'm doing these compound lifts, I'll be using my core enough that I'm going to get some abs. That isn't the case. You definitely need to do some dedicated ab work to make sure that your abs are good. I have really shallow abs genetically, and the goal is to make them a bit less shit and a little bit less shallow. So I actually do have some dedicated work, sometimes pre-session, sometimes post-session, but it's at least kind of 5, 6, 7 days per week, depending on how things fall, but usually 7 days because I tend to do them in the morning and they definitely don't need too much recovery. I'm actually very happy with how things are going at the moment because I'm so strong and my condition, like obviously I'm not as lean as someone like Cuba, but for a female in figure and especially one that's not obviously heavily dense, because I'm not just yet, obviously I will be in time to come. My condition hasn't really slipped that far. Food isn't really low. Got calories near enough 3.8 thousand on a training day, and then like 3.8 3.2 on a rest day. So things are actually quite high and condition is holding really well. I actually start my first off-season full push this weekend. Take from that what you will. Strength at the moment is at an all-time high, so I'm really looking forward to seeing where strength goes. Strength for everybody isn't everything, but to me, because that's my that plus my food are the most prominent tools within my arsenal. Because those are the most important things, it's so important to me that they go really well. So the fact that things are still feeling really strong, and that I've not got to a point in my off season where I get to like my back offset where on like a press normally it feels really hard to get my press up, and it doesn't feel like that at the moment. So off season's gone very well so far, or the reverse has gone very well so far. I can't stress the importance of doing one really well, and I know that so many people have so many ideas of what's good and what's bad and what's wrong and what's right, and you don't have to go super scientific, but sticking to your plan, making sure that you're recovering, making sure that you don't turn into a big floppy mess straight away, and then also not trying to hold on to condition, just getting that balance right. It's easy, but you've just got to apply yourself. So many people have such negative things to say about utilising things like cables, etc. I think there's a time and a place for everything. I don't think that you can do compound lifts and free weight lifts for every single movement, because you capture the amount of things that you can actually do. So there's so much diverse equipment in a gym. Some might be a bit shit, but other bits are very useful. Like this is such a useful piece of equipment, plus also a very useful movement, especially for myself. I actually find that a lot of machines are really big for like people that are a lot taller than me. Like I'm only 5 foot, and I find like if you're not 5'2", 5'3", you struggle inside machines a little. So I find machines on cables, things that I can adjust a little bit, easy to be able to actually fit into. So don't be capped to doing one thing because one person says that free weight exercises, etc. are much better. Find things that work really well for you and do them effectively and do them well. Come on. Come on, let's go. And again. That was nearly a 9er. That's not going in. Thank you.
Right, so how you actually use these really does matter. So bear grips, thank you. Now, most people tend to over wrap, and what that actually happens is just the over squeezing the hand where the hand always goes purple. Now, when you're putting so much tension through your hands, what's actually activated is your forearm, and then from your forearm, your bicep. That's not the goal when trying to train back. The beauty of wrapping up is to completely take out your grip. So the best way to actually go is double grip, and then you want to create pressure between the wrap and the D handle, or whatever handle you're using, so that you only rely on your wraps, not your actual grip to hold on to it. So when you get in the machine, when you are pulling, it should almost feel like you're not holding onto a single thing. It's just all one motion. The whole focus should be on where your arm path is driving to and where your elbow path is driving to completely trash your lat or upper back for that matter, whatever you're trying to target. So wrap up effectively to take out your forearm out of it, not make it worse. Game time of focus. Rib cage that way. That's it. Oh yeah, you felt that now? That's it, yeah. So, as you're extending away in any rowing machine, don't allow your body to come through with your arm. Think about the range of motion. You want to create more distance between your rib cage and your upper arm. So if anything, as you brace, you want to extend your arm that way and think about gently pushing your rib cage away from your arm. That way you will actually get a little bit more stretch. The more stretch you can get as well, the better to a degree, as long as you keep the tension on the muscle. That's the key. So any row movement, you don't want to go in line with the arm. You want to go away from the arm. Yeah, complete that rep. Beautiful.
If you are a female, and you're going to use a row like this or a T-bar row, which obviously you're over and pressed into your breasts a little bit. You need to make sure that your boobs are kind of over the edge of the seat. It will actually allow your elbow pad to be a little bit better for upper back as well, and it'll cause for you to not have as much pain. Some people really don't like it. I'm not really that bothered, but it is a lot more comfortable when you're over, and it actually helps with the elbow pad to be able to drive it through to really get that upper back to work. No, what a bastard. Was that a full rep or no? No. It's a trial. That means that we'll get the full one next time.
Lean into the side. All you want is a little bit of this, not your whole body position, because you're standing away from it like this. You need to be in front with your shoulder internal rotating, not your whole hips. Hips stay forward. This internal rotated, not the hips, that's it. Yes. Push the hips back and in. Flexion as you go into the stretch, and then extend as you're coming in. And now lift up as you come in, lift up more, that's it. Let your arm hang. Right shoulder in, more, that's it. More, that's it. Go into flexion as you go into the stretch. Stretch, pause, and extension, that's it, perfect. Come on. Good. Good, come on. Good. Good. Come on. Good. Oh. Yes. Go on. There you go. Go on, Meg. Beautiful work. Slide your hips under more, slide your hips, that's it, stay there. Oh yes, that's perfect now. Beautiful, Meg. Inhale here, inhale, and drive, there we go. Let your shoulder blades work more, let your shoulder blades work more, that's it, and drive. Beautiful. Let them fucking work. Yes. Go on, Meg. And drive. Again. Drive. Again. Drive. That's the rep. Beautiful work.
I always try to pretend or imagine that I'm a man with a big massive back. The moment I just pretend like I'm Nick Walker, because we watched him before his session and he said that the way he's been able to grow his back is through doing more rows and pull downs rather than kind of free weight stuff. I don't have a very good connection with my back, so doing something like a barbell row which hasn't got a lot of stability, which in essence basically means that I'm not that good at training back. So movements like this that create more stability and allow me to really get to work, I'll utilise them because they do make my back grow, opposed to something else like what I used to do, throwing the weight around from A to B. Just don't work for me. So find what works for you. We're not all one size fits everything. Find what fits for you. Let's go.
Fucking hell.
That set was definitely much better. Watched it back and I was leaning a little bit too far back because of the way in which the machine moves. I wasn't able to get retraction because I was hitting the bottom of the machine, so I sat up a little bit taller with my chest still obviously tall so that I can bias my upper back, and then because was able to protract and retract just a little bit better, so movement was definitely much better.
That's it. Fucking hell.
Absolutely not now. Right, we're moving on to hip thrust. This is the only lower body exercise that we have on today's agenda. On my other pull session I do 2 sets. On this session I just do the 1 set because in 2 days time I have my big RDL found doing 2 sets, especially with the kind of high frequency of numbers that we do on this one, was pulling away a little bit from my RDL sets, especially now that I've got 2 sets in that one. So that's why we're doing 2 on here, and I have a lot of dedicated glute work in my program anyway, so they're gonna grow. They're gonna grow of this volume. If they're not, they're not. No, I'm just kidding. If we need more, we'll need more. But that's what we're gonna do now. Went through them a couple of weeks ago with Baxter, who came to help and taken on his pointers of things to do, and they definitely do feel much better. I'm a really bad person for not using the whole of my feet when I train because of past injuries that I've had in my feet. So taking my shoes off makes me work it, but it it actually really hurts. I had a massive car accident and completely shattered my foot, so where that big break was, it actually really hurts my foot because I'm obviously not used to using it. I must just compensate everything through my shoes. So actually working my feet a little bit more has allowed me to be able to get a little bit more tension through my glutes. So if it works for you, it works for you. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Here on a hip thrust, I've gone through it before, but you want to make sure that your chin stays onto your chest. You want to make sure that your hips stay under at all times. If you let your lower back arch, you'll completely lose all the tension in your glutes. You need to make sure that your feet to knees to hips are fully aligned. Obviously that will be different for everybody because some people have wider hips, some people have narrower hips, but the more you can align that, the more tension you will get through your glutes. If you're someone who struggles with it like me, make sure that you get that working really well on lighter weight before you start throwing some weight around, because it doesn't matter what load you can lift. If you've got no, I was gonna swear, if you've got no glutes, what's the point?
Yep. When it comes to training and bodybuilding, one thing I always like to say to people is do your lift to reflect your musculature. If the loads that you are using do not reflect the muscle that you carry, you are clearly doing something wrong. When you look at guys that are enormous guys, yes, they're strong, but they're strong because they have the muscle there. If you are just strong, but you don't have the muscle, something has gone wrong.
That is the end of the video. Super happy with kind of the progress in the session from kind of a weight reps perspective. Hopefully it accumulates to some extra tissue when we dial it down next time. Obviously Cuba's progressed really well, form stayed pretty good. Same for myself, obviously something that we preach a lot, so it's something that's worked, especially in the last couple of years, for the progress that we've both made. So hopefully long may it continue until we get a little bit too old and then things start going down south quickly. Obviously a few more sessions left and then we're actually heading to America for the Olympia. It was first ever time having abroad somewhere quite far away from home. I've been there a couple of times, obviously whilst I was on prep, and then obviously in off season. Definitely much easier to be able to balance it in off season. So I think it'd be good for Kuba to be able to go understand what it's like, what you can get there, what you can't get there, etc. Because everywhere is different across the world. Before obviously he goes to compete there, because that's where bodybuilding is. If you want to compete, you've got to go there because the big pinnacle show is there. So why not do some of their shows that are there? It's definitely the hub for bodybuilding. So definitely a good place to be. So very much looking forward to that. A few more sessions, like I say, left here. So we'll get obviously a few before we go. Please like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. If there's anything that you'd like to see, other than kind of training and then a lot of shenanigans in the Olympia, kind of full day of eating, etc., let us know in the comments below and we can definitely hit it up.